Hey, welcome or welcome back. It is, as always, good to see you today. It is Monday. It is indeed Monday. I hope you all have had a good weekend. I hope you have had a good Monday. I might just be talking to myself for a while here because this is kind of a last minute. I mentioned this morning in my Discord I was going to stream, but I didn't have it scheduled yet. But yeah, I have about an hour that I can stream for a little bit. Before D&D starts. I need to catch up on a couple of things. So Amberlynn did a live stream last Thursday called Breaking My Silence, where she was responding to some of the things that Beck has said. There's my YouTube wife. Hey, Mademoiselle Scythe. Hey, Mars. Good to see you. Hey, Lizzie. Hey, people are popping in. Good. I know sometimes the notifications from YouTube don't pop up for people until it's been like 5 minutes. It's really annoying. Hey DV. Um, yeah. Hope you all have had a good day, had a good Monday. um, so I should have made this thumbnail and scheduled this last night, but I didn't. Sorry about that. But I didn't get a chance to stream yesterday, so I'm gonna try to take a little bit of time really quick before D&D that I have in an hour and a half. Um, we're gonna probably do this in spurts because Amberlynn's accountability live stream, her Breaking My Silence stream, is almost 3 hours long. I'm not gonna do that in one go in one run. We're gonna break that up. So we're gonna start it tonight. Um, so I did see part of this stream while she was doing it last Thursday, um, and it wasn't going great in my opinion. I think she could have gone about it a little differently because she was kind of all over the place. Like she had some notes, she said, but then she would keep going to the chat, trying to answer their questions, then going back to what she was doing, then trying to answer. If I had been her or whatever, I would have just, hey, here's everything that Beck has alleged in the Q&As, and um, here's my response. Beck said this. Yes, I did this. This is true. I don't know why I did this. I'm sorry. Blah blah blah. Hey Lizzie R. I hope lunch is going well. It's a late lunch. Um. So, and then after she went through everything, checked to see if anybody had any questions from the chat. Because the chat was very distracting for her. A lot of it wasn't very positive, I'm sure. Um, and if she had some mods in there, mods could have been kind of taking down questions from the chat and kind of compiling them for Amberlynn. And if they had a way to message them to her, um, after she finished her spiel. Oh, thank you, Lizzie R. I appreciate that. Um, that would have been, I think, a more organized way to go about it instead of the way she was bouncing around. And then I really wish she would learn how to use some streaming application because her taking her phone and trying to do this with it, trying to show screen caps and screenshots of, oops, what do you guys see on there on my screen? Trying to trying to show like screenshots and screen caps of things. Um, if she would just learn how to use like StreamYard is so freaking easy. It's web based and just really easy to learn. Then she could have had her screenshots on her computer and just shared the screenshot while she was streaming. Um, so it so many things that could have, I think, would have made it a little more organized and gone a little better. But again, I I only saw the first maybe like hour because she started this stream very late Thursday night, and I have to get up for work early during the week. I mean, I don't have to get up early, but I get up early to try to do some things before I start working. Because again, I have two jobs, so I'm trying to squeeze in two jobs in the day. Um, she has a few people she can trust, Mars. She has a couple of mods. Um, so I just think it really felt all over the place, and some of the things that I saw her saying were like it was very much a yes I did this, oh but Beck did this, so it was very much a almost justification of well I did this but what Beck did was also this, and that's that's not a good way to go about apologizing or taking accountability. But there were several spaces where she did that. But again, I only saw the first little bit of it. So let's go ahead. I have about 45 minutes here. Let's go ahead and get into let's part one of breaking my silence. So let me see. Where is my screen? There we go. I really need to get new blinds up here in the office. We'll get that eventually. Next time Lowe's has a sale, we will get new blinds. All right, where is my screen? All right, let's do a volume check. Which
Oh, sorry. My other one stopped working. I don't know what that was. That was really weird. Hi guys, how are you?
Again,
I hope
what
you guys are
I'm hearing
doing
isn't what you're
well.
hearing sound wise. So
I went to press go live and it wouldn't let me go live. And I was like, what is happening? It has been windy lately, so I don't know if it's like the internet or what. So I had to cancel it and then start a new one.
yeah, it was really windy the day that she was doing this. It was really windy that whole week. Lizzie, I was thinking the exact same thing, but I know a lot of schools these days, like I know Lizzie ours in California, but here in Missouri, in part of my area, they would stagger the school times here because of the bus routes and things and the number of buses we had available. I don't have kids, but I've seen um but I have a ex that had a kid, but they would like stagger um like elementary school kids would start at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. and then the high school kids would start at 8 a.m. so they would get out a little bit later. Um, so it's I don't know how they do it in California, and I don't know how blocks work very well because when I was in high school we didn't do block scheduling. But yeah, that seems like a very late lunch. All right. Um, so Amber was trying to go live, and I think she just goes live straight from YouTube. If she used something like StreamYard or something, she could schedule it and do that. Lizzie R. Oh, okay, so you guys staggered too. Yeah, Mars, I feel ya. In my subdivision, there's this main road that goes through. I live off, the main road a little bit, but over on this side of the subdivision, there's three schools. There's a high school, elementary school, and a middle school. So if you want to go that way to go to that road to get out of the subdivision, between like 2 and 3:30 p.m., it is such a pain in the ass. And if you want to go out in the morning, you better be out before like 7:15 because it's insane. And on this end of my subdivision, there's like a school, like a special school of some sort, I think, and then like another school of some sort. So yeah, it's a little crazy, and that's the only way to get out of my subdivision.
How are you guys doing? Already I have a new member, so thank you, IDK, for joining Stream Queens. I really, really appreciate that.
Oh, new member.
Um,
Oh, if you do happen to be new here, I do speed Amberlynn up to 1.25 speed because she just speaks a little too slowly for me. Although you can't tell it right now.
Hi, Olivia. Hi, Drowsy. This is just time for people to like come in.
Blah,
Oh my
blah,
god, time
blah.
for people to just like come in.
Drink your water.
Color. I'm wearing two of them actually.
Lip color,
And
who
then
cares?
on the outside,
Yep,
perfect.
yep.
No, I'm not using Revlon. Been a silent watcher since I was 16, now 24. I love you. Oh my god, Harley, stop. That's so long. And thank you.
Yeah.
Is this gonna have tea? Lauren, hello. Thank you for the super chat. I mean, the standard of what people consider tea, I
Probably not.
guess, yes, it's gonna have tea. I am here to be accountable. Like I said in my
We'll see how that works out.
I am nervous. I'm very nervous. And I'm actually really anxious, but that's okay. Like I said in my community post, I want to be accountable. So you guys are gonna find out tea of things that is real and is true. And yeah, I also want to talk about things that aren't real and aren't true because I feel like that is just as important. A, B, C, D, F, G can be true, and I could take accountability.
So there is a chat here. I don't know if we can see it. I don't know. Oh, here we go. Live chat replay. Okay. Just so you guys can also see the chat during the stream as well. I'll let that populate. Um, yeah. So what she's trying to say here, it sounds like, is, you know, some of what Beck said was true, and or I'm just gonna say people because it may not be only Beck that she talks about. I don't know. Um, some of what people have said is true, and some of it is not. Some of it is either they've misremembered, not remembering it correctly, or they're just flat out lying, according to Amberlynn. And she wants to be able to be like, hey, yeah, this is true. I'm going to take accountability for this. This over here isn't accurate, and I want to correct the record on this. We'll see how that goes.
While LMNOP, also, I want to clear up. I just think that's fair. I do have some like screenshots.
Because I do remember somebody saying something like, don't you dare discredit Beck. And it's like, if Beck said something that was inaccurate or incorrect, then that should be corrected. You know, just like if, because you can't, we need to hold everybody to the same standards. If we want Amberlynn to be accurate and correct, we also would like for Beck to be accurate and correct. We need to hold everybody to the same standards. We don't need to be trying to hold Amberlynn to some superhuman standard of always being perfect, but yet forgiving others like, oh, it's okay when they aren't. So we need to, I guess, listen to what Amberlynn has to say, take it or not. Mars, which is what we asked her to do a while ago. Absolutely.
And some things like that. So I'm just going to try my hardest. Like, this isn't a place for me to like bash Beck or talk about their personal things. Like, that's not what I'm doing. So I just want to like also make that very clear. Maya, thank you so much for the super chat. Denise, thank you so much as well. And I want to give you guys like the chance to ask me whatever you want. Like, this is your opportunity. Hayden, I still have a crush on you. Thank you for the compliment. How are you taking accountability other than just saying it?
I'm not sure if you guys were hearing me duplicate or not.
Giving examples. And yeah, I really hope that like this helps because I genuinely have been feeling.
All right, was that better, or can you now not hear?
Awful.
Yeah, no, okay. I think you may have been hearing double or hearing something extra in there because I think maybe my earbuds were maybe picking up sound too. It's Chris. Hiya, I was going to greet you before, but was mauled by my Boston Terrier sitting on the floor doing filing. Means playtime, I guess. Absolutely. And hello, good to see you. It's Chris. Although, I'm sure being mauled by the Boston Terrier was just full of licks and puppy love. Hey, Stitch and Stream. Stitch says, and this has a sarcastic tag, Beck is a perfect victim and was basically a prisoner. And that was sarcasm. Aaron! You thought the red scribble was your flag? No, that wasn't the Canadian flag there. Although it kind of looked like it, I guess, right? Um,
We love you from the UK. Love Ellie and Phoebe. Oh, thank you guys. I love you too. Don't do this. You are better than them. They want this. I'm not better than anybody. They're not better than me. I'm not better than them. It's not about that. It's just like so much. Like I've been wanting to say so much and I haven't been able to. And I'm going to say why.
I've wanted to say so much, but I've been unable to. So, Amber and Beck had agreed to not speak about each other because Beck had said, I'm going to get the law involved. You know, somebody's southern and redneck when they refer to the police as the law. My mom always did that. It's. You can't do that. I mean, you can't just sue somebody for talking about your relationship or saying things here and there. I mean, you could try to do like a cease and desist, or excuse me, a seize and assist. But unless they're slandering you, there isn't really a lot you can do about it, really. Stitch and Stream, I'm better than everyone. Oh, Mars, your dog's trying to push you off the couch. My cat did that too.
Okay, so some stuff I obviously blocked out. September 7th, 2022, I get a text from Beck saying,
okay, September 7th, 2022. So this would be, they broke up in 2021, if I'm not mistaken. So, September 7th, 2022.
last fucking warning. Stop talking about me. All you do is talk shit about me, and I just want to forget you and all of the bullshit. I will stop being silent if you don't, and I'm not the only one who has a lot to say about you. Final fucking warning. Take my name out of your mouth, and I can get the law involved. Okay, that's fair.
Okay, so Beck. So according to what Amber is reading there to us, Beck was threatening her. Because I guess Amberlynn said something about Beck in September of 2022. I don't remember what it was. It was probably something inconsequential, probably saying something about my ex or my last relationship or something. I don't know what it was.
Here's the screenshot.
But she's trying to show.
And obviously, I crossed out everything else because obviously, like, that's personal. So that's fair. Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, so it does say. Last fucking warning, stop talking about me. All you do is talk shit about me, and I just want to forget you and all of the bullshit. I will stop being silent if you don't, and I am not the only one who has a lot to say about you. Final fucking warning. Take my name out of your mouth, and I can get the law involved. No, you can't. So, and it looks like above there is a message from Amberlynn. Was July 31st. There's a couple of messages there from Amber to Beck in 2022. So I don't know. It was in a live regarding. So that was when she told the proposal story, September 7th, 2022, or in that time frame. Yeah, nobody cared about that. I don't know why Amberlynn even bothered talking about that. The whole, I'm not the only one who has a lot to say. That feels a little threatening. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of things they could say about Amber, but it's just like, why? Why? She said that she blacked them out because it had personal information.
That's fair. Here's the screenshot. And obviously I crossed out everything else because obviously like that's personal. So that's fair. Okay. So I stopped talking about them. And that text was kind of after like I said the proposal story. And in the proposal
Okay, it was a proposal story. Yeah.
story, I didn't even say Beck's name, you know.
You didn't say Beck's name, but everybody knew who it was. I mean, come on now. That's kind of like Lex trying to be like, oh, somebody whose name starts with an A, and this one will say is E. You know what? Bullshit. We all know who you're fucking talking about. Come on now.
And obviously everyone knew what it was about, so that's my bad. And I shouldn't have done that. But at the time, like I felt like, okay, if they're allowed to make videos and say what they want, like I should be allowed to as well. So
Okay, so now it's like, okay, if Becca's coming out now and talking about me, then I should be able to talk about them now.
Beck obviously sent that, so I was like, okay. All right. So I did stop talking about them. And I think what was hard at the time for me was Beck started making videos about me while telling me, don't talk about me, keep my fucking name out your mouth, or I'm gonna get the law involved. Um,
I don't I don't think Beck. So Beck was making some videos in 2022, I think, but not very many. And then Beck came back in 2023 with Logan and started making some videos. But Beck did not want to talk about Amberlynn in any of those videos that I recall, and they would just talk about random whatever.
I know there's internet suits. Is that what they call them? Internet suits out there? Okay, so with my
Internet sleuth, Sleuth.
notes, I do want to delete everything that I'm like already talking about just so I don't get confused. So if you see me like doing that, I'm sorry. It's just like a break.
She really should have found a different way to organize this.
So if there's internet suits out there,
Sleuth, Amberlynn, sleuth.
there is a phase of time like easily for like 2 years I would not talk about Beck. I did not say a word. I was also with Feline, and Feline was very good at urging me to not speak about Beck, and so I listened. Um,
Yeah, seems like maybe you shouldn't have fucked up that relationship. Seems like wifey really cared about you and really wanted you to, um, you know, be better and do better.
it was just hard because like Beck was able to say whatever they wanted when they wanted, how they wanted, and that was like hard for me. So that is why when I say like I feel like I'm being silenced, that is what I mean, because I took that text message.
Did I get a haircut? I did. I got my haircut last Saturday. Not this past Saturday, the Saturday before. Um, Whatever that would have been, like the first, second, something of March. I got it reshaved and got it trimmed up a bit.
And I was like, all right. And I think now things have just got like I really wasn't gonna say anything, obviously. But things have gotten so like out of hand with like things that like, okay, how am I supposed to take accountability if I don't say what for? So I want to say what
Right.
for. And I also think it's important that like I share my side of things that are not true. Um, would you ever consider attending a behavior change program for abusers? No hate. I generally want to see you succeed. Yeah, I would do anything. Like, are you joking? Thank you for the super chat. Um, so with like, I want to answer questions, and then I want to like.
Lizzie R. Aaron, tell me why I read anarchist as antichrist. I need glasses. Maybe you watched The Omen with us the other night.
Also do some of my notes, etc., etc. So we could just like go back and forth with that. So someone said this is not.
Wait, say that again. Yeah, Lizzie, I think abandoning that might be a good. It's awful trying to grow it out.
So with like, I want to answer questions and then I want to like also do some of my notes, et cetera, et cetera. So we can just like go back and forth with that. So someone said this is not accountability. We haven't gotten there. We have not gotten there. We have just started. We haven't even been on here for 10 minutes yet. I'm extremely nervous. I am absolutely detached from myself. So if I laugh, giggle, whatever it may be, it's because I'm extremely detached from this whole situation. I feel like I'm watching this happen to myself. Why don't you do Dr. Neil's diet for a month? Because I'm not being supervised by a healthcare provider and it's pretty extreme. All right, so let's start with my mouth sounds dry. Okay. This might be a really long live, so
It is. Get on with it. So sorry, that was very slurpy.
can you please tell my friend Tiffany, happy birthday. She just turned 26 today. Happy birthday, Tiffany. Have a great one. And thank you for the super chat, Emma. Thank you, Kaylin, for the super chat as well. Okay. Is this going to be left up to watch later or no? Yes. How about a buzzball? I am doing this completely sober. Love you, girl. Sending love. Thank you, Izzy. At least you look pretty. Oh my God, stop. Okay. A main question I have is it difficult handling the situation when you've said you wanted to handle it privately and they keep making it public / responding? Yes, that's obviously a very different and hard type of situation to be doing because like I really want to like I would love to have like a conversation with Beck offline. Like Beck can have their partner there, friends, family, a whole slew of people, and I can be by myself. Like whatever would make them feel comfortable. Um,
Why are people giving her money, Lizzie R? Because they want to? They want to make sure that she sees their comment? Um, I think this whole public playing out all this shit publicly, I don't know, it just seems immature to me somehow. It's like handle your shit in private. You know, I mean, people saw the relationship online and they're not going to like Amberlynn for whatever reasons, or they're not going to like Beck for whatever reasons. But all this, she said, they said, all this going back and forth, it's just like, why are we doing this? And I know people want to say, oh, Beck's trying to help people that have been in abusive relationships. How is this? How is this helping? Really? I mean, how is this helping people that have been in similar situations? Talking about wiping Amberlynn whenever she had her surgery. I just don't understand how some of these things are supposed to help. Like Destiny's live streams. Destiny's live streams were just talking shit. Liz, yes, doesn't she only respond to supers? She may. She reads other things as well, though. But whenever the chat is scrolling by quickly, the supers will stay up on the screen for a little bit longer, and you can click on them because they're up in the top here. So I could come up here and click on this, and I can see the question. Rhinestone Eyes. I don't agree. She put Beck online for years when she didn't want to be. Beck's health was made public when she should have never been filmed. Amber then trashed Beck after they broke up. Yes, she did film Beck, but Beck? She filmed Beck when Beck apparently did not want to be. I never heard Beck say, don't film me, but if she said it off camera, granted, I haven't seen every single video from the Beck era, then Amberlynn should have respected that. We all know that Amberlynn had issues respecting boundaries up until Wifey, when Wifey was like, I'm not going to be on camera. We know that. Beck's health, yeah. I do recall a few times Amberlynn would say, Becca said that I can share this, or even Beck would share a few things here and there. Amberlynn may have trashed Beck a little bit after the breakup. I don't remember everything. I know during those live streams, though, Amber did her damnedest to try to make Beck feel like shit for breaking up with her, which was not okay. But that's how Amberlynn operates. You hurt me, I'm going to try to hurt you back 10 times fold. That's how people with her issues operate. Um, but when they're in a relationship, what the hell? Must have clicked on something. But Amberlynn was trying to vlog and show her life, and she didn't understand boundaries. And that's where a lot of that came into play. She did it with Crystal, she did it with Destiny, and she did it with Beck. Beck isn't the only one that she's done this with. But some of the things that are being talked about have nothing to do with that. They're just trying to spread, I don't know, just random shit about Amber that really isn't any of our business. And I could respect Beck for having the mindset of, I'm not going to talk about these personal private things of Amberlynn's, but I'm going to talk about how I was affected in this relationship and how I saw certain things in the relationship. Fine. But let's not discuss private, personal hygiene or these sorts of things. That's just not something that needs to be put on the internet. It's tea for the haters and yeah.
Whatever could make them feel comfortable, safe, whatever it may be. Because like doing this online like is a lot, because the thing, like I get like in my videos, because I look back, I see in some of my videos I was like pretty harsh to Beck, and for that I'm sorry, especially like doing it publicly. Like it's pretty awful, really.
Yeah.
But like the things that happen like not online, like I would love to be able to like have that conversation, like, but it's not going to happen. So there's not much I can really do about that. Someone said please stop crying. I am extremely emotional. It's hard to regulate my emotions, so I am going to be doing the best I can with actually not crying. I'm actually working really hard on that, even on my everyday life, to like not cry at every fucking thing in the world. So, and I know a lot of people are like, you are not a victim. I'm not saying I'm a victim. I'm saying that there's two people in this story, and one of them isn't being honest about the situation at hand. And it's like when I was going through my
yeah, there were ads. Somebody over there said ads. There were ads that would occasionally interrupt the stream as you were going along. It was kind of annoying.
Messages to try to find proof for certain questions, because I do have some screenshots that I want to show you guys. I found a text message of a situation that like I didn't even remember happening, and it just made me realize that like I'm not perfect. Beck wasn't perfect. Like I was super controlling of their time, of like their energy. I always wanted them near me, like always. Like it was crazy, and it was
very codependent and controlling and very needy.
I'm able to admit that, and I'm sorry for that, and that's wrong. Beck is their own individual, their own person, and they could do whatever the fuck they want. And for some reason at the time, it felt like I needed them always. And I'm able to realize that I was not perfect.
That's a control thing, of course. You know, people with narcissistic personality disorder do this, but also with BPD will they want to know where you are at all times, what you're doing, who you're with, because they themselves don't feel they can be trusted, and they put that on other people. And it's a form of abuse, of course. It's emotional and mental abuse. You do that to people. And Amberlynn absolutely did these things. I don't know if she actually set a timer, like Beck said. Amberlynn has said that she didn't set a timer, but she'd be like, hey, you said you'd be home at 3. Why aren't you home at 3? And that's super controlling. And it's like, if it was a, hey, you're not home yet, I just want to make sure you're okay. Okay, great. That's different, but that's not what Amberlynn was doing. Come on.
But and it's like I hate like having to do like two things at once because it makes me feel like my apology or my accountability isn't real. But it is. Like what I'm about to say does not take away from that, and I need people to hear it. I need people to hear that. And so anyways, I was going through and I was looking for proof of something, which I'll show you. And it's like there was this text message I saw where I like sent a big long message to Beck saying like how I felt. It's actually on my other phone. I need, if you guys want to see, I can get up and go get it. But some of it is actually personal. And in it,
Come on.
I was saying how like I like quoted some things that Beck said to me. And one of the things was I wrote down in my notes, at least my family didn't do drugs. Like Beck would say things like that to me, and I forgot that they even said that to me until I was looking at a text message from like I think it was like 2020, and I was like, holy fuck. And it's things like where it just neither of us were happy. Like I felt, oh my god. And then I
So, if Beck did say this to Amberlynn, so again, these are right now. It's just a she said, they said. It's if Beck did say, at least my family didn't do drugs, that's a pretty shitty thing to say to your partner that you know whose family has struggled with addiction, has been in prison, who got taken away from their family because of their parents' addiction and these problems. But what does it have to do with you being accountable? This is, like I was saying at the beginning of the stream, well, I did these things, but Beck did these things that were just as bad or worse. That's not going to make people, that's not going to endear you to the people in the live. It's not not doing what she wants it to do.
saw a message from Dana. Like Dana was so worried about me. I think it was like 2020. Dana sent me this whole paragraph of like, because Dana stayed the weekend, and her and Destiny did, and it's no, sorry, I can't look at the chat while also talking because then I want to answer your guys' questions, and then I get confused while I'm trying to talk.
Didn't achieve anything, at least meant that Amber might have been talking shit about Beck's fam first. I don't know, Mars. Could have been anything. Amber could have not even been talking about Beck's family, and Beck could have just been like, at least my family didn't do drugs. You know, it could have been a comeback to anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be about Beck's family, but since Amberlynn can't really remember, we don't know why Beck said that, if Beck really did say that, or what that whole situation is. So again, all we have is Amber's word saying Beck would say, at least my family didn't do drugs. People aren't going to believe Amberlynn unless we see proof. But people are believing Beck 100% without any proof whatsoever with everything that Beck is saying. And let me give an example. During the live stream that Beck did with Casey, Nerfy, and Jinx, Casey had mentioned a story about Amberlynn going to Disneyland, Disney World, one of the Disney places, with the family. And Beck was like, that's not what she told me. She told me that she had to stay in the garage while the family went. And I'm like, no, I think Beck is confusing two different families here. During that live stream, we were watching it in Discord, I believe, and I'm like, it's. I think Beck is confusing two different families, and Amber actually brings this up a little bit later in the stream. I actually did see that piece of the stream where Amber says that Beck is confusing two different times and situations, and maybe not two different families, but she was confusing two different stories. And Amberlynn tries to very poorly give an example of when Beck would do that. about Beck's memory on stories and things getting confused. So Amberlynn was kind of trying to plant a seed of uh it's hard to believe everything Beck says because Beck gets confused. She gets they Beck, not Amber, they get stories confused and mesh stories together. So Beck doesn't have any proof of these things. We're relying on Beck's memory that may not be 100% accurate. Just like we're relying, for some of this stuff here from Amber, we're relying on Amberlynn's memory, which may not be 100% accurate. They were in a relationship for 4 years, and it's been over for 4 years. So we're relying on people to remember things from a time that was very emotionally tumultuous. They were on various medications, and they both, to be honest, Amber used a lot of Delta 8, and Beck smokes a lot of fucking weed. So we're relying on two people here with not great memories to try to tell us stories from a relationship that ended 4 years ago. So
Dana was like, "You are not yourself. Like, I can tell you're not happy."
So here we have her saying Dana said something. We could very easily verify this with Dana. But Dana probably wants to not be involved whatsoever with any of this. But Amber's invoking other people that we could possibly get verification from. I don't know. Dana probably just doesn't give a shit anymore.
Like, you don't deserve to be treated like this. Like, Dana, like, also saw, like, a situation where two people were not good to each other. And Dana saw, like, a big difference in me. Like,
both of you being shitty to each other still isn't accountability. You shouldn't have been in a relationship. It sounds like it just wasn't a great relationship. Neither of you are perfect. We should know this. Beck was not perfect in that relationship, and people seem to think Beck was. Yes, Beck did tumultuous. Beck did a lot for Amberlynn in that relationship. A lot. And Amber did not appreciate it and treated Beck like shit. But Beck isn't perfect. Beck should have left that relationship way earlier than they did.
it's just hard because it's like, a part of me fucking wishes that it was just me. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, a part of me wishes it was just me who was not a good girlfriend, not a good this, not a good that, because then it would just be so much easier for me to come on here and be like, yep, everything that Beck is.
But you said at the beginning of this wasn't a come on here and bash Beck. But you're saying, what's the context for bringing up Beck would say to me, at least my family didn't do drugs. What's the context for that, other than for you just to kind of slip that in, just to kind of slip that in to poison the well? What's the purpose of that? And maybe if I shut up and let her talk, we would know. Sorry, Lizzie. Sorry, Scythe. I'll shut up. I'll stop pausing because I only have 15 minutes.
Saying is 100% true, and this is like exactly how it is, but it's not. It's not reality. It's not, and it just like makes it hard. Anyways, it like literally doesn't even matter because I just need really more than anything to just get all of this like off my chest. And it's not like fully about like people believing me or whatever it may be. It's like I just need to get all of these feelings and thoughts off of my chest. So before I start being like, well, Beck said this, but here's proof that that's not true, I would like to answer some of your guys' questions that I can
Oh my God, no.
be accountable for, because I don't want this to be a situation where it's like, oh, Amberlynn is just trying to prove Beck wrong or this and that. Like, no, I want to literally be accountable, because that is just as important to me. I don't think any hate helps in the situation. Let her talk. There's two sides to every story. Yes, I completely agree with that. Deep breath. You are valid. You are okay, LR. Thank you, Harley. I appreciate that. Amber, you're 100% drunk. Don't lie. Go to bed. I am completely sober. Saying I'm accountable doesn't make you accountable. Correct. That's why, like, I am trying to list off ways that I'm accountable.
And Lizzie says, at least my family didn't do drugs. Sounds like Amber said something Beck's family before that. She could have. We just don't know. We don't know the situation around why Beck would have said that because Amberlynn said that Beck would say that to her a lot. So I don't know. We don't know what that situation is. We don't even know if Beck even said that, to be honest.
Dana stole your girl. Could be true. Could be true. I'm currently reading super chats because I don't want to like skip any of those because I'm gonna feel bad. Where the tears, they're there and they're messing up my makeup.
Boo hoo.
So what you talk about Destiny's brother on drugs? Yes, that was a very, very low point of me, and I should have never done that, and I'm sorry for that.
You're right. You shouldn't
that
have.
was
Yeah, that was that was super shitty and uncalled for.
a very bad look, and it was horrific because like you guys know that I have like addicts in my family, and I should have never ever ever done that. Your past does not define who you are. Grow and learn. You have an amazing personality. No one can take that from you. Thank you. Can you shout out my best friends Cal and Andre, who love you so much and are also struggling with BPD? Love you. Hello, Cal and Andre. BPD is hard to handle. But we got this. It's something we'll always struggle with, but there's way to regulate and there's ways to help with symptoms and etc. You look so beautiful today. Thank you. I appreciate that. Does my mom have dementia? No. Not that we know of. Okay.
No,
You haven't been diagnosed.
her mom's just done a lot of drugs in her time, and that's probably messed up her memory quite a bit.
I have been diagnosed. Okay. Wow, you guys are being really sweet, actually. I appreciate that a lot. I was like really nervous, like to come on here. And why are you laughing? I already told you I am a nervous laugher. Laugher? Laugher. That word sounds fake right now. And I also feel like super like detached from myself in this moment.
So it's Chris. So I think she just wants to answer questions from the chat really quick and then she'll go back to whatever. I don't think she's really asking for accountability moments. I think she's just wanting to see what the chat wants her to answer.
You know, oh my god. Thanks for super chat. Okay. Okay, so can you guys ask me like straight questions? Because I feel like that would just genuinely be easier for me. And I feel like people are always asking questions.
How about you just address, like I said, you should have just went through and taken notes from all of Beck's Q&As. Been like, Beck said I did XYZ. Yes, I did that. I shouldn't have, and I'm sorry. Beck said this situation happened. That's not accurate. Here's what actually happened. Beck said this. That's not true. Here's why. Here's proof. You know, just
questions, but then it's like when I put you on the spot, I know it's hard to like come up with stuff. Like I totally get that. Read your notes. Did you not prepare anything to say? I did, but that's like I want to go like back and forth. I thought you only have one phone. I do actually, but I use one phone, which is this guy. I went into my storage unit and I got my phone from when I was actually dating Beck. So I went.
We know that she always keeps her old phones because she has text messages from people from the beginning of time on all of her phones, but she has an iPhone, and I think you can go into your iMessages on your PC and go back and get any messages on your computer because she has a Mac, right? And she has an iPhone, so she should be able to access all of her message history from her computer, I think, can't she? I don't have a Mac and I don't have an iPhone, but I believe you can do that, can't you? I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting things confused.
All the way to my storage unit and got it, plugged it in, charged it. So yeah. I love you, Amber. Thank you. And thank you for the super chat. Who diagnosed you with BPD and when? So it was actually when I was seeing the psychologist. It was around that era of when I was like getting my weight loss surgery. I was with Feline at the time. So it was 2023. It was,
right,
I would say maybe March of 2023, like around that area.
I thought it was later in the year because she would have only been with that therapist for like a month at that point. I thought it was later, like June or July, that she was diagnosed with BPD. Maybe I'm just going off what I thought she had said. Maybe I'm not remembering that time period correctly because Lord knows my brain's freaking shot just from working too much.
And that was when they were like, okay, so you meet the criteria because there's like 9 criterions, whatever, whatever. And they were like, but you need to see someone who like specifically can help you with this because my psychologist at the time did not. And I never saw anyone until now. So
Right, because she told us in August that she was going to, like either July or August of 2023, that she was going to stop seeing that therapist because they didn't specialize in BPD. So why would you go from March until July or August seeing this therapist when they were like, hey, yeah, I don't specialize in this. You need to see somebody else. Why would you continue to see that same therapist when they were like, oh, hey, yeah, I can't really help you with this? So I don't think she's remembering correctly, or maybe I'm just insane. That's a distinct possibility.
can we see the screenshot? Which one? Okay, fine. Oh, okay, someone finally asked a question. Thank you. Did you tell Beck? Did you tell Beck your foster parents didn't let you go to Disney? No.
Okay, so here's what I was talking about earlier.
So Beck is mixing 2 completely different stories together, and what's really crazy about this is there's actually a clip of me, Beck, Ricky, and Eric. Eric and Ricky are people who were really good friends, and we lived with them.
So here she's trying to establish a baseline of Beck's memory issues.
We were all sitting in the dining room table, and me and Eric were, well, Ricky was talking about a time that he was in jail, and Beck was like, I don't remember this. And Eric was like, how do you not remember that? And then me and Eric actually are sitting there. There's like a clip of this online, so you can go see it. Me and Eric were like, Beck, like you're always like remembering like certain stories that like 3 different stories and like combining them together, and like you're not remembering, and that's what's happening. So my foster parents were getting their kitchen.
So she's trying to establish a history of Beck merging stories together and getting them confused. She's trying to give an example of Beck doing this before, and that this is what Beck tends to do.
Renovated, and there was some sort of like fume type thing that actually made it to where we had to leave the home for a few days and stay in a hotel. And instead of staying in a hotel, well, they stayed in a hotel. My brother stayed at a friend's house, but they stayed in a hotel, and I stayed in the garage. They stayed at a hotel called the Sheraton, which in Petaluma, California, at the time, that was like the best hotel it was there, etc., etc. Disneyland, cares. I've talked about Disneyland multiple times. I've gone more than once. So when I was with Beck, I very much shared that I went to Disneyland.
Hey,
very
much.
Chop. Okay. Why were you completely unable to recognize how Beck felt and their emotions for the entirety of your 4-year relationship?
Because Amber just doesn't notice how other people feel. Maybe she's gotten better at this, but she was so consumed with herself and just so selfish that she didn't care or didn't notice if somebody else was uncomfortable or didn't want to do something. That could just be an Amber being selfish issue, or it could be Amberlynn just can't read people.
Well, you have to be more specific, because sometimes I did know exactly how they felt because they told me, and I'm realizing that there was a lot of times that they lied. I think a really good example of...
Hold on, I'll back that up. So I will say that sometimes you can't tell how people feel about some things. Beck doesn't seem to be a super emotional person. If you don't want to do something or feel a certain way about something, you need to tell somebody. You can't expect people to always be able to tell how you're feeling or tell that you're uncomfortable or something, because they just may not be able to tell. So some people just aren't very good at reading people or being able to read people's emotions or how people are feeling. So if Beck was ever uncomfortable and felt a certain way about something, she should have said something to Beck. It seems like a lot of the relationship stems, the bad things stem from poor communication on both parts. She's being so lazy about this and shouldn't have done it as a live. Yeah, I agree, Heather. Amber's face lights up to prove Beck was wrong, as if getting one story wrong means they're lying, misremembering it all. Yeah, Mars, she's, like I said, she's trying to trying to establish a baseline of Beck always confuses stories. She's trying to establish Beck doesn't remember things. So then she can use that moving forward, which, who knows, Beck could be misremembering or combining stories. We don't know.
Your relationship. There, well, you have to be more specific, because sometimes I did know exactly how they felt because they told me, and I'm realizing that
Right, somebody tells you how they feel, they know. Now there are, if you're in tune with some, sorry, I'll shut up in a second. When you're in tune with somebody, you can probably tell when they're uncomfortable. But if they're trying to hide that they're uncomfortable, or if that's or if they're just kind of a naturally skittish kind of person, Beck seems to be kind of a naturally kind of socially awkward, skittish kind of person. So maybe Amber couldn't always tell if Beck was uncomfortable in a social situation or a certain situation. I'm not trying to excuse anything, but just pointing out that sometimes you may not know how somebody is feeling unless they tell you.
there was a lot of times that they lied. I think a really good example of that would be like choosy, or like when they would give me like the anxiety massage. Like it's just like partner, you know, emotional regulation, like making your partner feel good and safe and loved.
So I will say with the choosy thing real quick is Beck came back in a video later and was like, "Oh, I didn't think about this until people started pointing out, oh, this was Amberlynn doing a psychological torture or manipulation." Beck is getting a lot of these feelings and whatever from people that don't like Amberlynn and are just looking for negative things. I personally, again, my opinion, I don't think Amberlynn's choosy game was meant to be psychological torture or anything. It was something that Amberlynn enjoyed doing and wanted to share that with her partner. We know she's played it with every single partner that she's been with. We know she still does it. It's the same thing she does whenever she's trying to pick which journal she wants to write in. She'll have two journals. Okay, not this one. Okay, not this one. Okay, not this one. It's something that she enjoyed doing, and she didn't notice that maybe Beck wasn't enjoying it, that Beck was just doing it just to appease her. Amber did not notice this. But as far but going as far as saying that it was psychological torture, I think that's going a little far. And I think Beck is trying to rewrite history on some things here and there based on what they've seen from reaction channels and people outside of the situation. Which sometimes that can give you a little different perspective of a relationship, but I think in this case, a lot of external views aren't going to be great. Bet confusing memories doesn't confuse the feelings, though. But that's the thing, Peep Chop. I don't think Beck has been. What we're talking about doesn't say anything about the feelings. Saying that Amberlynn lied about a Disneyland story has nothing to do with Beck's feelings. If that's Beck getting two stories confused, that was Beck trying to establish, oh, Amberlynn lied about all these things or would lie about all these things, but it was Beck just not remembering correctly. Those are two very different things. Beck is a people pleaser. Mars, I'm an introvert. It's difficult for me to stand up for myself and say I don't like something. Maybe Becca's the same. Yeah, Mars, I'm the same way. But I can't get mad at somebody for not noticing that I don't like something if I don't tell them that I don't like it. Right? I mean, if I'm just like, "Oh yeah, it's fine," when really it's not fine, then that's on me. That's not on the other person. But okay, we are at the choosy part. It is 4:30. We are only 23 minutes into Amberlynn's stream. Next time, I will not yap so much. Let's see, we are at 23:42. That is the timestamp that we need to come back to. Um, but I do need to end the stream here in a second because I do need to get ready to play D&D. Um, but I said what last time, Scythe? I know. I just talk so much. Oh, well, bye. Goodness. That's a very quick, abrupt goodbye there. from my YouTube wife. um, we will continue this maybe tomorrow if I get a chance to. Um, then let's see. Hold on here. Peep Chop said, "Yeah, that's fair. I just mean that if Beck was uncomfortable, then they were uncomfortable. So even if they're getting memories mixed up, I wouldn't use that as a line." I'm not talking about that, Peep Chop. There's two different situations here, right? Um, but we will continue Amberlynn's accountability live stream throughout the week, along with other things. But I hope you all have a fabulous rest of Monday. If you enjoy watching D&D, I will post a link to our D&D stream that we do on Twitch and my Discord. But I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your Monday. And until next time, be safe and take care.